Research reveals betrayal trauma can shatter your very identity, burying you in agonizing shame long after trust is broken. While my husband was away, I sought solace and found a consuming, secret intimacy not with another person but with our horse. This is the true story of that bizarre transgression, the devastating fallout, and the nightmare my life became. It started simply enough. My husband John was gone for weeks on end for work. The house felt empty, hollow. My days stretched out, filled with a quiet loneliness that settled deep in my bones. I found myself spending more and more time at the stables. Our horse, Storm, became my companion. At first, it was just grooming him, talking to him about my day, the little worries and the bigger fears. He couldn't talk back, of course, but he listened with a steady presence that felt incredibly comforting. This connection, this quiet bond, began to fill a void I hadn't even fully realized was there. Slowly, without me really planning it, Storm became the center of my emotional world. I started confiding in him things I never told John, sharing moments of vulnerability I kept hidden from everyone else. The stable became my sanctuary, a place where I felt seen, understood, even in silence. It was an emotional affair, an investment of feelings outside my marriage. I knew, somewhere deep down, that this level of intimacy was crossing a boundary, a violation of the unspoken agreement John and I had. But the longing for affection, for a connection that felt pure and uncomplicated, was overwhelming. I denied the growing limerence, telling myself it was just a special friendship, a way to cope with the isolation. Then John came home. The contrast was jarring. The ease I felt with Storm turned into tension with my husband. I found myself distant, irritable. My deception started small, telling John I was running errands when I was really at the stables, excluding any mention of Storm when I talked about my day. This secrecy was a clear sign. I was hiding my actions because I feared his jealousy, his anger, the potential retribution. I knew my behavior was undermining our relationship, creating an emotional distance that grew wider each day. Increased fighting became our new normal. Small disagreements turned into huge arguments. I channeled my own guilt and confusion into anger towards John, rationalizing my actions, interpreting everything he did in the worst possible light. The trust between us began to erode, replaced by suspicion and resentment. I remember one evening, John asked why I seemed so far away. I froze. The lie felt thick in my throat. I mumbled something about being tired, but the look in his eyes told me he sensed the shift, the rupture in our connection. The fear that gripped me then was intense. What if he found out? Not about another man, that would almost be easier to explain, but about this. This strange, consuming attachment to our horse. The potential shame felt unbearable. The weight of the secret became a heavy burden. My life turned into a nightmare. The betrayal wasn't just of John, but of myself, of the vows we took. Trust, the bedrock of our marriage, was shattered. I started experiencing intense anxiety. Simple questions from John felt like accusations. Sleep offered no escape. Nightmares haunted me, images of John finding out, the look of disgust and disbelief on his face. I felt like I was drowning in sadness, grieving the loss of the relationship I thought we had, the future I had believed in. Anger became my constant companion, a rage that felt foreign and frightening. I lashed out over small things, turning into someone I didn't recognize. This was betrayal trauma, plain and simple. I felt the physical symptoms, the sleepless nights, the constant knot in my stomach, the inability to focus. Tasks that were once easy became monumental challenges. My mind felt foggy, lost in a loop of guilt and fear. The insecurity was crippling. Was our love ever real? Did he truly love me, or was I always lacking something? These doubts spun endlessly, leaving me disoriented and questioning everything. I started comparing myself not to other women, but somehow feeling inadequate even in this bizarre situation. My inner critic raged, telling me I wasn't good enough, that this strange transgression was proof of my failure. The shame was the worst part. It made me want to hide, to disappear. Going out felt impossible, as if everyone could see my humiliation, my secret disgrace. I felt exposed, judged. This intense emotional dysregulation, this constant state of distress, felt like a prison. Some research calls infidelity a form of abuse because of the manipulation and gaslighting involved in keeping the secret. I saw that now. My secret intimacy, my emotional affair, wasn't harmless. It was a deep wound inflicted on my marriage and on myself. Rebuilding from this kind of breach feels almost impossible. The path to healing is long and uncertain. Can trust ever be fully restored after such a profound violation? How do you explain a betrayal so unconventional? These questions remain, highlighting how much we still don't understand about the complexities of emotional infidelity and the deep, lasting scars of betrayal trauma. The specific ways these unique attachment injuries affect long-term well-being, especially when the affair involves something non-human, are areas needing much more exploration. If this story resonated with you, or if you're interested in exploring the complex nature of relationships and infidelity, please like this video. Share it with others who might find it helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more true stories and insights. We appreciate your support.